Hey y'all. How y'all doing? How you doing? How you doing? I hope you're doing fine. Hey y'all. Oh, excuse me. Yes, I do apologize. I still apologize. Excuse me. It's been a day. A day. And thank you for coming to our little Bible study. That's what I call it. Our little reading. Our little reading. Um My name is Tamika Collins, and we are reading the Bible from Genesis to Revelation. And on this episode, this portion, we are going into Exodus chapter 13. I like my earrings. These were done by my friend Morgan Myers. And aren't they so beautiful? They come in all different kinds of colors and things. She does scarves, she does hats. Oh yeah, I got to check her out. She's awesome. Her business is called Mori Mai, and she does vegan food. Oh my gosh, I had some soul food rolls that she had made. Oh my gosh, they were so bomb. Oh my goodness, they were so bomb. One of them was made with vegan macaroni and cheese, collard greens, and yams, or sweet potatoes, whatever you like to call them. Bang it. And then the other one was done with vegan macaroni and cheese, greens, and jackfruit. It was like barbecue jackfruit. Oh, it tastes like barbecue chicken. Oh my gosh, it was so bomb. But anyway, she got oil, she got incense, she has earrings, she does scarves, she does, bathing suits, all kinds of things. Check her out, Morgan Myers. That's my boo. Thank you, Morgan. I had fun hanging out with you and Tay today. It was wonderful. Um, yeah, so we in Exodus, the 13th chapter, but we read the 12th. So, little recap, because recap. The Passover has just happened, and God gave them specific instructions of how to go about doing the Passover, from what they're supposed to do, what kind of animal they're supposed to kill, what they're supposed to do with the blood of the animal, what they're supposed to do with the body of the animal when they get ready to eat it. Um, and things, and stay in the house. Don't come back out them doors. Once you get in the house, you stay there until it's done. Till it's done, because God has killed the firstborn son of the firstborn males. It didn't matter if they was children or older. Yes, excuse me. And Pharaoh has finally said, "Look, go." Not only him, but him and his Egyptian people. They like, yo, take all this silver and gold that I have, clothes, whatever, and get out. Get out. They was like Bernadine and waiting to exhale. Get out. But anyway, we in chapter 13, and it reads as this. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Dedicate to me every firstborn among Israelites. The first offspring to be born of both humans and animals belongs to me." So Moses said to the people, "This is the day to remember forever, the day you left Egypt, the place of your slavery. Today the Lord has brought you out by the power of his mighty hand. Remember, eat no food containing yeast. On this day in the early spring, in the month of Abib, you have been set free. You must celebrate this event in this month each year after the Lord brings you into the land of the Canaanites, Hittites, Amorites, Hivites, and Jebusites. He swore to your ancestors that he would give you this land, and a land flowing with milk and honey. For 7 days the bread you must eat made without yeast. Then on the seventh day celebrate a feast to the Lord. Eat bread without yeast during those 7 days. In fact, there must be no yeast bread or any yeast at all found within the borders of your land during that time. On the seventh day, you must explain to your children, I am celebrating what the Lord did for me when I left Egypt. This annual festival will be a visible sign to you, like a mark branded on your hand or your forehead. Let it remind you always to recite this teaching of the Lord with a strong hand. The Lord rescued you from Egypt. So observe and decree the decree of this festival at the appointed time each year. This is what you must do when the Lord fulfills the promise he swore to you and your ancestors. When he gives you the land where the Canaanites now live, you must present all firstborn sons and firstborn male animals to the Lord, for they belong to him. A firstborn donkey may be bought back from the Lord by presenting a lamb or young goat in its place. But if you do not buy it back, you must break its neck. However, you must buy back every firstborn son. And in the future, your children will ask, does all this mean? Then you will tell them with the power of his mighty hand, the Lord brought us out of Egypt, the place of our slavery. Pharaoh stubbornly refused to let us go, so the Lord killed all the firstborn males throughout the land of Egypt, both people and animals. That is why I now sacrifice all the firstborn males to the Lord, except that the firstborn sons are always brought back. This ceremony will be like a mark braided on your hand and your forehead. It is a reminder that the power of the Lord's mighty hand brought us out of Egypt. When Pharaoh finally let the people go, God did not lead them along the main road that runs through the Philistine territory, even though it was the shortest route to the promised land. God said if the people are faced with a battle, they might change their mind and return to Egypt. So God led them in a roundabout way through the wilderness toward the Red Sea. Thus the Israelites left Egypt like an army ready for battle. Moses took the bones of Joseph with him, for Joseph had made the sons of Israel swear to do this. He said, God will certainly come to help you. When he does, you must take my bones with you from this place. The Israelites left Succoth and camped at Etham on the edge of the wilderness. The Lord went ahead of them. He guided them during the day with a pillar of cloud and provided light at night with a pillar of fire. This allowed them to travel by day or by night. And the Lord did not remove the pillar of cloud or pillar of fire from its place in front of the people. Let's see if we can do the 14th chapter. Ooh, these some long chapters, Exodus. What is we doing? Let's see, we probably can do it. Okay, let's see. Then the Lord gave these instructions to Moses. Order the Israelites to turn back and camp by Pihahioth, between Migdol and the sea. Camp there along the shore across from Baal Zephon. Then Pharaoh would think the Israelites are confused. They are trapped in the wilderness, and once again I will harden Pharaoh's heart, and he will chase after you. I have planned this in order to display my glory through Pharaoh and his whole army. After this, the Egyptians will know that I am the Lord. So the Israelites camped there as they were told. When the word reached the king of Egypt that the Israelites had fled, Pharaoh and his officials changed their minds. What have we done? Letting all those Israelite slaves go. Get away, they said. So Pharaoh harnessed his chariot and called for his troops. He took with him 600 of Egypt's best chariots, along with the rest of the chariots of Egypt, each with its commander. The Lord hardened the heart of Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, so he chased after the people of Israel who had left with fists raised in defiance. The Egyptians chased after them with all the forces of Pharaoh's army, all his horses and chariots, his charioteers, and his troops. The Egyptians caught up with the people of Israel as they were camped beside the shore near Pihahiroth, across from Bel Zephon. As Pharaoh approached, the people of Israel looked up and panicked. Even when they saw the Egyptians overtaking them, they cried out to the Lord and they said to Moses, "Why did you bring us out here to die in the wilderness? Weren't there enough graves for us in Egypt? What have you done to us? Why did you make us leave Egypt? Didn't we tell you this would happen while we were still in Egypt? We said, leave us alone. Let us be slaves to the Egyptians. It was better to be a slave in Egypt than a corpse in the wilderness." But Moses told the people, "Don't be afraid. Just stand still and watch the Lord rescue us today. The Egyptians you see today will never be seen again. The Lord himself will fight for you. Just stay calm." Then the Lord said to Moses, "Why are you crying out to me? Tell the people to get moving. Pick up your staff and raise your hand over the sea. Divide the water so the Israelites can walk through the middle of the sea on dry ground. And I will harden the hearts of the Egyptians, and they will charge after the Israelites. My great glory will be displayed through Pharaoh and his troops, his chariots and his charioteers. When my glory is displayed through them, all of Egypt will see the glory and know that I am the Lord." Then the angel of God who had been leading the people of Israel moved to the rear of the camp. The pillar of cloud also moved from the front and stood behind them. The cloud settled between the Egyptians and Israelite camps. As darkness fell, the cloud turned into fire, lighting up the night. But the Egyptians and Israelites did not approach each other all night. Then Moses raised his hand over the sea, and the Lord opened up the path through the water with a strong east wind. The wind blew all up that night, turning the seabed into dry land. So the people of Israel walked through the middle of the sea on dry ground with walls of water on each side. Then the Egyptians, all of Pharaoh's horses, chariots, and charioteers, chased them into the middle of the sea. But just before dawn, the Lord looked down on the Egyptian army from the pillar of fire and cloud, and he threw their forces into total confusion. He twisted their chariot wheels, making their chariots difficult to drive. "Let's get out of here, away from these Israelites," the Egyptians shouted. "The Lord is fighting for them against Egypt." When all the Israelites had reached the other side, the Lord said to Moses, "Raise your hand over the sea again. Then the waters will rush back and cover the Egyptians and their chariots and charioteers." So, as the sun began to rise, Moses raised his hand over the sea, and the water rushed back into its usual place. The Egyptians tried to escape, but the Lord swept them into the sea. Then the waters returned and covered all the chariots and charioteers, the entire army of Pharaoh. All the Egyptians who had chased the Israelites into the sea, not a single one survived. But the people of Israel had walked through the middle of the sea on dry ground as the water stood up like a wall on both sides. That is how the Lord rescued Israel from the hand of the Egyptians that day. And the Israelites saw the bodies of the Egyptians washed up on the shore. When the people of Israel saw the mighty power of the Lord he unleashed against the Egyptians, they were filled with awe before him. They put their faith in the Lord and in their servant Moses. Every time I hear his name, I think of that song. That's one of my songs right there. But anyway, another good power punched chapters. We got through those too. 13 and 14. I will see you back. We will recap and we'll do some more. Thank you so much for rocking with me. Have a great evening, night, morning. Bye. Peace.